Floyd Mayweather Jr. is easily considered one of the greatest boxers of all time. He won world championships across 5 different weight divisions, holds the record with most world champions beat at 23, and obviously retired with a perfect undefeated record of 50-0. A frequent conversation starter I see about Floyd Mayweather on forums and social media is, what is the greatest performance of his career? You know, what was a performance where you saw Floyd do his thing against a top-level opponent and really showed levels and how special he was as a boxer? If you have seen Floyd's career or seen people talk about this, there are really 2 performances and answers to this question that I see most frequently. The first performance was 23-year-old Floyd in 2001 against 33-0 Diego Corrales. If we are talking about the most dominant performance, this is probably it. Floyd Mayweather schooled the undefeated Corrales for 10 rounds, knocking him down a whopping 5 times before his corner had seen enough and stopped the fight. It was a masterclass performance by Floyd, and if you say this is the best performance by him, I don't necessarily disagree or have an issue with that.
And another knockdown, 5th knockdown of the fight, 5th knockdown of Corrales' career. Another mark of what a performance it's been. Ray Woods is up on the apron. That's going to be the end of the fight.
The next frequently talked about great performance by him mentioned is 36-year-old Floyd in 2013 when he took on 42-0-1 future superstar of the sport Canelo Alvarez. And if you are in the boxing community or just any sports community online, you have seen highlights of this fight. It might just be the most shown fight of all time. I swear I see this fight every day, even in 2026. To keep it short, Floyd took the younger, more green 23-year-old Alvarez to school for 12 rounds in a boxing masterclass. And if you say that this is Floyd's best performance, I don't have an issue with that either, but I don't think it's his best performance. If I had to pinpoint a performance in Floyd's long, successful boxing career to me that made me say, wow, this guy's special, there is one fight in particular that I always go back and look at.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
On May 1st, 2010, Floyd Mayweather took on 46-5 Hall of Famer and boxing legend Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley, at the time, even though being 38, had just came off arguably his career best performance over known cheater Antonio Margarito. I'm not going to go into the whole Margarito cheating rabbit hole because that really is another story, but Shane put Margarito in his place in one of my personal favorite boxing performances of all time, and he was in a great place to fight Floyd. And even at 38, there was a lot left in the tank for this fight with Floyd. Floyd Mayweather's career, on the other hand, had kind of been on a weird trajectory. He had come off a great win over Juan Manuel Marquez 8 months ago, but he had just taken a 2-year layoff and said he was retired after his knockout win over Ricky Hatton in December of 2007. Not only that, Floyd's style and brand had definitely changed. Now, let me explain what I mean. On May 5th, 2007, 30-year-old Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought the sport superstar and Oscar De La Hoya in one of the biggest boxing matches of all time. And I believe that this night was the death of a certain version of Floyd Mayweather, the pretty boy version of Floyd Mayweather. At the time of this fight and a little bit beforehand, Floyd Mayweather Jr. changed his name from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather, and at the same time he started fighting differently too. This wasn't the Floyd who fought Corrales and was in his 20s, knocking guys out. He was fighting much more cautiously and defensively and was more worried about getting the win, getting the money, and playing it safe. I say the Oscar De La Hoya fight was really the nail in the coffin because after this, every big fight he had was a spectacle. It was huge. And he never really fought coming forward, coming to seek and destroy like we saw earlier in his career, and he had got a little older and was taking just a lot less risk than he was before. Okay, so fast forward back to the Mosley fight. Floyd Mayweather is 33 years old, has had 2 fights in the last 3 years, largely changed his brand, and was looking forward to this fight with Mosley as another easy Money Mayweather performance where he boxes defensively and gets the easy win over Mosley.
Obey my commands at all times. What I say you must obey. Good luck, touch him up.
Round 1 of this fight started off like any other Mayweather fight, where not much happens. And in fact, a lot of times Floyd Mayweather loses the first round of fights just to analyze and read his opponent's style and what he's working with. It wasn't until round 2 where anything happened, and when it did happen, it came out of nowhere.
We made it the first round. It looks wound up and tight. There's a hard right hand. And that may be the hardest punch that Floyd Mayweather has taken in recent years.
In round 2, Shane Mosley hit Floyd Mayweather with a perfect flush right hand right on the chin. Mayweather rarely gets hit flush like this, especially this early on in a fight. DeMarcus Corley early on in his career and Zab Judah, but no one has really clipped him the way Mosley did here. Floyd seemed a little wobbled by the shot at first, but smartly held on to Mosley's arm.
He's smiling about it, but Shane Mosley landed a right cross, and crunchingly so.
Floyd got his composure back quickly, but about 30 seconds later, it happened again.
For a moment here. Mosley, another big right hand. Mayweather's knees buckled on the second right hand.
And once again, Mosley hit Floyd with another great shot. This time, another right hand that was on the ear that actually buckled Mayweather's knees.
The second right hand. Mosley drives him into the ropes. Tries to go to the body. Mayweather defending well as always.
Floyd Mayweather managed to recover from both shots and survive the round, but this was a really big scare for him and a bad look.
Well, the scoring of round one now becomes very interesting, because if the judges agreed with Harold Letterman and gave round one to Mosley, then Mayweather may suddenly be 2 rounds down on the scorecard.
In the corner, you could tell Mayweather was a bit embarrassed getting hit with a shot that big, but that was the last round, and it was up to him to change the early lead that Mosley had gained.
Earlier, they were standing very close to each other as though Mayweather has got something to prove here.
Mayweather immediately started round 3 on the front foot, something we hadn't seen from him in years after he switched to Money Mayweather, and pretty soon he was already landing big shots and backing up Mosley.
More coordinated than Shane.
Well, I don't think there's any question that he's a better boxer than
He wants to get in and fight with him.
There's the competitive spirit, wants to get back. Another right hand for Mayweather, who's coming back well from the difficulty of round 2. Has made an adjustment, and now Mosley seems to be trying to figure out how to deal with that adjustment.
It hadn't even been a full round since Mosley hit Mayweather with a good shot, and immediately Floyd Mayweather started pressing him. You could tell Mosley was surprised by Mayweather coming forward, but you can tell by watching it, Mayweather wanted to punish and hurt Mosley for hitting him like that.
Time!
In the corners, Mosley looked a bit panicked that Floyd was coming forward like this, but in the Mayweather corner, there was no panic whatsoever, even after the big shot in round 2 that hurt Floyd. Once again, to start round 4 off, Floyd Mayweather began coming forward to Mosley with an offensive boxing stance, instead of the normal Philly shell he used a lot around this point in his career. And in this offensive stance, Floyd would yet again work on Mosley.
He hasn't been throwing it that much. And just this amazing me. And Shane is looking old to me. His body doesn't have that.
And this pattern would continue all night. From the very start of round 3 to the end of this fight, Mayweather's game plan would not change. He decided to punish and hurt Shane Mosley and make an example out of him after he hit him with such a big shot. And Floyd pretty much said by this, you know what? I'm going to bring pretty boy Floyd back just one more night.
And easier.
Another stunning right hand by Mayweather, and the big left hook. That's a power shot.
I think he's lost respect for Shane's punching power, too. That's why he's coming in now. You go.
Two fighters are talking to each other, and while Shane's talking, Mayweather hits him with a left hook and a right hand. That is not the situation he's looking at tonight.
more people are starting to think about Mayweather and Pacquiao.
Guessing that in all those fights, you'd be hard-pressed.
If he took a lesser opponent, that it would seem, and he is proving his point right here.
Crowd is now rising in the excitement.
As the intensity is way better than Shane's.
HBO boxing legend and commentator Jim Lampley, who I actually had the pleasure of interviewing twice on this channel, once 3 years ago and once 2 weeks ago, had probably one of the greatest and most epic speeches on any fighter I've heard a commentator say with 10 seconds left in the fight.
Floyd Mayweather's skill level, Floyd Mayweather's conditioning, Floyd Mayweather's application to the sport is at this moment unique, and he stands alone.
literally goosebumps. The way there was silence before the bell rings is just peak for me, man. But I believe this was Mayweather's best performance. If you tell some people you think this is his best performance, they may look at you like you're crazy because they're like, really? The Mosley fight? He got hit and flusher than ever in round 2. Yeah, he did. But I think the way that Floyd Mayweather Jr. adapted to an uncomfortable situation, changed his fighting style to go back to his old roots, is what made this performance so special.